You know, these guys, surprisingly enough, have been requested multiple times, which I find interesting because this is something that doesn't typically happen in the NBA, where we have a player who's taken their destiny into their own hands. Not only created his own signature shoe, but this is also the Mark II version. Someone's clearly an Iron Man fan. So, with that being said, this right here, my friends, is Spencer Dinwiddie's. I hope I'm saying his name properly, and I know I'm going to say the shoe name properly because
K8IROS.
Blame her if it's wrong. Hey, what's good, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we are taking a detailed look at these guys right here. Potential bad boys, maybe, I don't know. But this is Spencer Dinwiddie's own personal signature shoe by a brand that he personally created. And this is the K8IROS Mark II. There was an original version. I never played in the shoe. One of our Discord members did. He didn't like the traction on the original pair. And I don't think Spencer did too much either because, you know, I don't know who manages his personal Twitter account, like the Spencer Dinwiddie account or whatever, but I got a DM from them one time and they showed me these. He said not to show anything. And the reason why I don't know if this is actually him managing it or not is because some of the questions, because that's what he had sent the picture over for. He was wondering like my thoughts on certain things, which I thought was really cool, by the way, just saying. But he was using some lingo and some like words or ways to describe certain things of the shoe where typically only like a designer really knows those things, you know what I mean? Like measurements and things like that. So I thought that was really interesting. Again, I don't know if that was him that I was actually talking to or not. If it was, that's super cool. If it's not, still kind of cool. And this is the second iteration of the shoe. These actually, do you know what these remind me of? I don't know if you remember this shoe because it was from a while back.
Oh, jeez.
But they remind me a little bit of the Dame 2.
Okay.
You see that?
A little bit.
A little bit. Not just in the overall design of the shoe, but also just what they've done to it. Because this is one of those shoes where it's got things in there where I'm kind of like, huh, that's really cool. Like you wouldn't expect this from somebody with their own sneaker and stuff where, again, this is not common. This is not the norm in the sneaker world. In fact, you're borderline crazy to do this.
So he's turned around and taken his NBA dollars and thrown it into, this is like his passion project, yes?
Something like that. All I know is that he is one of those players that emphasizes building your own brand instead of building another person's brand, which I also say the same thing to many people all the time. And I do think that it's something that's very important is to build your own brand, kind of invest in yourself. It's cool to get experience at other places, which he clearly has. He's a basketball player on the professional level. He's worn many sneakers from, I assume, many brands, and he's put all that knowledge into one product. Kind of neat. Now, as far as what this actual shoe has, we have a modified outsole right here, and we got some spiral patterns on there. There's a little bit of storytelling in there. I think that he's a Bruce Lee fan because it says be like water, and it just says that row after row. That's also something that Kobe Bryant's a big, you know, Bruce Lee guy, and Spencer is also a big Kobe Bryant guy. So I don't know if he, you know, just they both like Bruce Lee, or actually, who the doesn't like Bruce Lee? That guy was awesome. Now anyways, along with the spiral or circular pattern, we got, I don't even know what to call that.
Diamonds.
Yes.
Netting.
Dragon scales, snake scales, milk crate, I don't know. And then this weird thing down here, I don't know what that is either.
It's a signia.
It is an insignia. I don't know whose. I don't know if it's like a family crest or if it's some sort of storytelling, I really don't know. And then you got his logo right there, and peeking out behind that is a small Tpu Shank Plate. The rubber itself feels like it's gonna be good. I don't know if it will, but you know, fingers crossed. It just feels really tacky in hand, so I'm hoping that it's got like a nice bite on the surface or whatever on certain courts, or all courts hopefully. I do love the way that the rubber wraps up right here though, just super durable. It's all over the place. The audience of one thing is, man, I do that every once in a while. And every time I do, I piss myself off.
Butterfingers.
Right. But it says audience of one right there, which is dope. And then all of that houses their cushioning system, which is what they call chronofoam. Everybody's got their own trademark patented name of things. What they're using is a blend of P-backs. It feels super light, but also super spongy underneath your foot. Not spongy, but more like springy. Spongy to me is more like absorbent. And this feels like it's got a little bit of bounce back to it. So the only thing I could really point this to, as far as like a direct comparison just recently, is something like the Way of Wade 8. Because they had something similar in the midsole. As far as like comparing those two things to something else that maybe more people have tried would be Zoom Air. It's kind of like the Zoom Air of foam to me, where it's got a little bit of that kind of like springiness to it underneath your feet, which I think is dope because Zoom Air is my favorite. And then on top of that, we've got a TPU plate right here with a little, what you would call the kickstand, also known as an outrigger. And all of that stuff is for stability, so it allows for plenty of compression, but not too much so that you're gonna roll your ankle. He's been playing in these all season, I believe, and he's been killing it. He's super efficient. Now moving on up to the upper, this is kind of where the Dame 2 thing or feel to me kind of comes into play again, not just in the way that they're designed, but just the materials that they use. They use like a jacquard knit in the build and all that stuff, which I think is dope. It's not too stretchy of a knit, you know what I mean? It's not too soft. It's not like basic mesh either, so it's not too cheap looking and all that. It's kind of like a good balance of textile with some structure, and I think that was a good move to use on this shoe. The sizing of these guys, they are only available in full sizes. That's a big bummer, but at the same time, this stuff is super, I'm telling you, it's almost suicide to start your own brand. You've got to really believe in it, you know what I mean? Because like it's super expensive, man, to create the tooling molds for the outsoles, the midsoles, super expensive stuff, and you have to do that for left and right for every size that you're releasing.
Do they go to larger sizes then?
Let me double check on that.
Because I can see cutting out half sizes if you're willing to go to the larger sizes for those bigger guys.
Okay, so they go from size 7 all the way through 15. So they do take care of big sizes. So good on you for that, because I didn't even think to check. But they are $130, which I know seems expensive for a brand that you've never heard of, for a company that's brand new and all that stuff. But again, this stuff is super expensive to manufacture. So because they're in full size, it's gonna be a little bit tricky. These are my normal size 9. When I put them on, they feel a little bit short. I would not be able to go up half a size because there isn't one. And I don't wanna go to a size 10 because that would make too much room in the shoe, for me personally. So what I would recommend is if you wear a whole size, order that size. It's gonna be a little short on you, but the upper is soft enough to be able to kind of like accommodate that, where you're not going to lose any structure or support or strength in the upper and the build. And everywhere things are designed into the shoe, including the outrigger, the support pieces. But if you wear a half size, I would probably go to that next full size up.
And count yourself lucky.
Oh, and fingers crossed that they fit you right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if I were you and I wore like a 9.5, I'd order a 10 and not a 9. That's just what I would do. But if I was a 9, which I am, I would order a 9. I will do a performance review on these, so just, you know, be patient. One thing not to do with me though is to hound me, because I don't play in shoes once and I give a performance review. So I don't need to hear constantly every single day, when's this coming out? Because then I'm just gonna not ever do it. Be patient, please, and I will get everything done at my leisure. Now, in addition to the jacquard style knit, we have a little bit of fuse, and they're basically in the high wear areas and the areas that need a lot of strength. So like the lacing structure, all that. You do have some separate eyelets down below. So if you need a little bit extra lockdown, like a little bit of a tighter fit, you can move those down a rung. They are actually functional. It's not one of those things like, what was it? The Way of Wade 8, where instead of the pulley thing, they had the 4 dots, right? But only 2 of the dots were actual holes. And I was like, why would you do that? So you've got that little bit of adjustable stuff. You got a really nice collar. It looks and feels good. The internal booty, again, very Dame 2-like, nicely padded. And you got a TPU heel counter with the shoe's name on there. Now, I've been told that all of these numbers all over the shoe are special meetings towards Spencer and all that stuff.
Yeah, they're just significant dates to him, whether it's people's birthdays or moments in his life
that he finds to be important. But you guys already know I'm not super huge on storytelling, so I apologize because I don't know certain things. I'm really just about the footwear and how it plays, or like how it's like valued to your dollar, versus knowing every little aspect of like the players behind it. Holy hell, what are you doing? You can't just keep popping up on people like that. It is super rude. The woman haters out there don't like it, okay? You're all up in their business.
Lucky you.
One quick thing to also note, the box recyclable or made out of recycled materials. So is, surprisingly enough, the insole, which I thought was pretty interesting. It's got all of its little eco things down there and all of that. And it's made out of like algae and other stuff. So I just think it's super weird. Like I didn't even know that there was stuff like that. Now, as far as these are concerned,
they're really light. I don't feel like you emphasize that enough, but like they feel like next to nothing.
Yeah, I typically don't talk about weight unless they're mad heavy.
Well, the interesting part too was, so these came in while we were still editing the PG4, and these came out of the box and I was like, oh my gosh, those look so tiny. Are you going to be able to fit your foot in there?
It fits.
I think it got cut for time, but with the PG4, there's so much sculpting in the back where it's like a huge pillow in your heel, and this one still has sculpting, but not nearly as much.
This one feels more like a memory foam.
Yeah.
Where it feels like when you rest your ankle and Achilles area, it's going to kind of envelope it. The PG is kind of pushed. The heel was real weird. It was sloped inward, and then there was sculpting and stuff. So it feels like it pushes your foot forward to the front, which might be why they are so suffocatingly tight. Like it's just like, man.
Because I was sitting here, and I know you're not supposed to do this for sizing or anything, but I had taken the PG4 in this shoe and I'm looking at them and I'm like, I don't know if you're going to be able to do it.
That actually is a good thing to bring up, where putting two shoes together is not an accurate way to decipher size, because the last of the shoe can be put onto any platform.
Yeah, that'd be like taking the Dawn Issue 1 shoe with its huge, you know how much extra rubber there is to the...
Dawn Issue 1.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And there's so much extra sole to it where it makes the shoe look gigantic.
Correct. And this is kind of the same thing, where the upper portions, they don't meet up perfectly, but this is such an exaggerated tooling where it's like, this looks like 2 sizes smaller, but it's because you're comparing the wrong things. You're supposed to compare the internal shape with this one's internal shape, not the external shape, because the external shape could be anything.
Right.
But anyways, that pretty much takes care of it for a quick look and breakdown on Spencer Dinwiddie's, crap, I already forgot how to say it.
You want to replay it?
K8IROS.
Mark II. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the support. Stay tuned for the performance review on these guys. If you were interested in checking these out in any of the other 3 colorways, well, this is one of the 3. I didn't mean that there was 3 additional.
There's
Sorry.
3.
There's 3 total, okay? But if you did want to check these out, there's going to be a link in the description box below. It'll head you over to their site where you can just check it out, read all about it. And again, if you're interested in purchasing a pair, order your whatever your size is if you're a full size, or a whole size. If you're a half size though, go up half a size from that. So if you wear a 7.5, order an 8. 8.5 should order a 9. 9.5 should order a 10, etc., etc. Everybody from size like 13 and up, you guys already know that there's no half sizes after that, so you guys should be fine. Thank you once again for checking us out. We appreciate it, and stay tuned for everything. Let us know what you think about these as well, by the way, down below in the description, or not, up all over the place today. But just let us know what you think about these, because, yeah, man, going up against the big guns, it's crazy.
It's commendable. Like, I'm impressed.
I'm impressed with the product.
I just think it's cool because a lot of these guys are so excited to be in the NBA. They don't always think about what they're going to do afterwards. And so this is a different route.
Yeah. No, it's really cool. I mess with this, man. Hopefully they perform well, because if they don't, that'll suck. So, thank you once again, and until next time, guys.